problems. That guy, he just has to touch you once.
Shit's going down.
He's so different than anybody else in the division. Like, he knocks everybody out. Everybody hits hard. They all hit hard.
But he
that
down.
dude hits hard.
Robert. Oh, sorry, when you done.
Yeah, so them ones with the A, Robert. Okay.
Yeah.
We send it as well. Anthony Joshua is Olympic champion. First. Jack Paul, it's sportsman, YouTuber, showman. Rolls Royce, Fiat.
Joe Rogan has never been one to censor his thoughts, and his latest reaction to Anthony Joshua training within Oleksander Usyk's camp ahead of the Jake Paul fight has sent shockwaves through the combat sports world. Speaking on his podcast, Rogan unpacked the strange yet compelling dynamics of the situation, questioning why two of boxing's elite heavyweight figures would play a role in preparations for a spectacle-driven event built around Jake Paul. Blending skepticism with admiration and his trademark blunt honesty, Rogan's take has fueled intense discussion among fans, many wondering what this unconventional training alliance could signal.
Chance that Anthony Joshua is not going to just lose the weight beforehand. He's not going to come in drained. What he's going to do is just do extra cardio, and that's just going to make him more dangerous. He's going to be terrifying, and he's going to have a lot to prove. He's going to be very angry.
Not only for Jake Paul, but for the broader direction of modern boxing. Instead of remaining in the UK with his usual team under trainer Ben Davison, Joshua confirmed at a recent press conference that he would be training with members of Usyk's camp as part of his build-up to the December 19th fight in Miami. He described the collaboration as both phenomenal and demanding, praising the experience and pedigree of Usyk's team.
Find the belief in yourself, not in somebody else's system. You know what I mean? It's like Usyk's team might show him bits and bats of stuff. He doesn't box like Usyk. Can they train AJ to be similar to what Usyk's doing? AJ, you've got to pick out the best of what AJ does, and you've got to pick out the worst and improve the worst in him. And I'll say it time and time again. For me, the best trainer he ever had was Robert McCracken. It might not be what people want to hear, but he had him from the stages in the amateurs, from being a young mind, brought him through, guided. He had a good view of what the competition was out there, where to put him, you know, where to maneuver him, when to take fights, when not to take fights. And he'd invested a lot of time in him, Robert McCracken. So it was the payoff. Now when you go to, you know, if AJ came here or he goes to Ben Davison, or you're going to be in for a big payday as a trainer, it's a lot of responsibility to take on. You know, Ben Davis is a good trainer. He's trained AJ for so many fights, brought him back. He'll have got paid handsomely. Everybody wants to train AJ because it's a good payday. So, but sometimes you have to think to yourself, are you capable of training that fighter? You know, people have come to me wanting me to train. I said, to be honest, we're not going to match. You know, what I want to do and what I want you to do is not going to work. So I just think AJ is looking for that secret ingredient.
While making it clear that the Ukrainian champion himself was not sparring with him on a daily basis. By training with seasoned figures from Usyk's camp, Anthony Joshua is sharpening both his offensive and defensive arsenal. Observers have noted his relentless commitment to improvement, from refining footwork to sharpening timing and tightening combinations. Joshua's approach remains disciplined yet adaptable, allowing him to experiment within a structured system. The camp also supplies sparring partners who recreate authentic fight scenarios, keeping him alert and mentally sharp. As fight night approaches, every session carries increased significance, strengthening both his physical condition and mental readiness. The routine highlights Joshua's understanding that precision.
Simon, I think he's at that stage of his career where he's trying to rediscover a little bit of that confidence. He's gone to Oleksander Usyk, where we're hearing reports he's out there training with Usyk and the team, trying to pick up something, trying to rediscover something.
That's very strange, pause.
It is, but it's not unheard of. I've heard of a lot of fighters doing that. You see fighters, obviously, it's the old Rocky movies years ago, but you see a fighter losing to someone, all of a sudden they go in the camp and they start training and do a little bits together and become friends or whatever else. I think it'll do Joshua no harm to have him, but as you say, he's a little bit long in the tooth and he's a bit on the back nine rather than the front nine, where that experience would really come into play. But I'm just looking at his record here. He obviously, after the Usyk fight, he's come back and he had 3 fights, and then the Ngannou demolition
Well, yeah,
job.
Jermaine Franklin, he had Robert Helenius, he had Otto Wallin, and he smashed Ngannou, which everyone went hallelujah for, right?
Yeah, but he's obviously not in like the box rec rankings to see where he is. But the Dubois fight is a fight where, what you've just said then, Spencer, like, match him right. I felt he was matched right with Dubois. That's just my opinion.
Just fought
obviously I was wrong on that, and I was proved wrong, but I felt like Joshua would have and should have came through that, but he obviously didn't. So therefore, it's back to the drawing board, and where do you go from there? What do you do from there? Does he keep the same team around him? Does he go and find someone new and try and adapt and add to his repertoire already? And this move at Usyk, I don't know what it'll be, but if he's fighting before Christmas, then he needs to get in shape quick, because there's only 8 weeks to go, let's say.
Well, my understanding, he's in camp, he's in shape, and just looking to getting out and get back to winning ways is my understanding. That's why they're talking about 8 rounders.
Yeah.
He wants to sort of go under the radar a little bit, and it's difficult for someone like Anthony Joshua because he's such
Very
a
much so.
commercial commodity.
He's always been in shape all the time, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He always will be in shape. He's never, ever not been.
But it's not about his
100%
physical shape, is it? No one's ever questioned his physical state. Zach, when I was talking about Anthony Joshua, and I know that the president of his fan club is here in Spencer, but I talked about the PTSD issue post various fights, whether it be the Oleksander Usyk or the Daniel Dubois situation. But prior to Daniel Dubois, I always maintained that I felt that despite the performance against Jermaine Franklin, despite the performance against Robert Helenius, which had been blasted out by
Preparation and tactical growth are non-negotiable at boxing's highest level. Although Joshua is not regularly sparring Usyk himself, he has fully immersed in the Ukrainian champion's training environment, working closely with elite coaches who helped guide Usyk to becoming a 2-time undisputed heavyweight champion. Through exposure to their high-level boxing system, Joshua has gained insight into the habits and discipline required at the summit of the sport. He has stated that learning
to that camp just for Jake Paul, because he could have gone to fucking my camp to beat Jake Paul.
AJ's been in camp with Usyk.
Taking it seriously for it to get fucked off at the final minute.
What better camp to go join
yeah.
than the master himself?
What he's doing is he knows that he's got, 1, maybe 2 years left, maybe 2 years. So he's gone to the Usyk camp. There's motivation behind that, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You're not going to that camp just for Jake Paul, because he could have gone to fucking my camp to beat Jake Paul. But he's going to that camp for the future of next year, where he could be fighting Dubois, could be fighting
from individuals who have achieved so much provides valuable perspective as he sharpens his tools to deal with Paul's unconventional approach. Conor McGregor has also shared his thoughts on the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua matchup, offering a blunt and cautionary assessment. He warned that the fight is extremely dangerous and, in his view, probably should not happen at all. McGregor described Joshua as a devastating puncher with the experience and depth of a former world champion, emphasizing that stepping into the ring at that level demands respect. At the same time, he acknowledged the serious physical risks Paul would face, despite his doubts.
We've sat ringside and watched Joshua. If he makes that walk, gotta give him his respect with that. It's very dangerous, It seems like Netflix are all over him. To get me, it's a dangerous sport, and you can't overlook that. And Joshua's a big boy and a powerhouse. That's a heavy punching man, and he's you think he's a happy and he's a good kid, but he has an anger in him. He has a darkness in him, does Anthony Joshua. And I don't think a lot of people sus that. So the fight shouldn't go ahead. In my opinion, the fight shouldn't go ahead.
McGregor said he would respect Paul if he fully commits to the challenge, even as he questions whether the crossover bout makes sense from a sporting standpoint. UFC President Dana White delivered an even harsher assessment of the highly anticipated Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul bout, labeling it a mismatch that threatens the integrity of professional boxing. Never hesitant to stir controversy, White questioned the legitimacy of matching a proven former heavyweight world champion against a YouTube personality turned boxer. His comments ignited heated debate across social media, with fans divided over whether the fight represents smart promotion or a hollow spectacle. White argued that Joshua stepping into the ring with Paul sends the wrong message and could establish a dangerous precedent where fame and clicks outweigh experience and skill, while acknowledging the financial appeal of celebrity
around him that will be saying to him, mate, Anthony hasn't boxed for a year and a half. Mate, Anthony got dropped in his last fight. Anthony's head's all over the place. He's gone. So listen, fair fucking play. If he steps up and fights AJ, I will be the first to hold my hands up and go, fair fucking play. He'd have to be crazy to do it. He would have to be crazy to do it. Jake Paul's never really fought anyone major, like, you know, when's he going to step up and fight a real fighter? I mean, this would definitely be one way to kill that narrative, but it would be a dangerous one. If we're offered it, and the money that I know is inevitable in a fight like that, it would be very difficult for us to turn it down. And I know some people will find a reason to not like it and moan, but I'm just going to give it to you straight always. We were going to have a run out this year in an 8-rounder against someone in the top, I don't know, 120 on BoxRec that you've never heard of. We could have a run out against Jake Paul, end him in boxing forever, get rid of this whole little silly thing, and make about 50 or 60 in the process. How can you turn it down? So if it's real, there is a chance. Jake's won fights that I didn't think he'd win. And Jake has got a lot better over the last couple of years. He ain't in Anthony Joshua's league, that's for sure. The only way this fight happens, if it's a fight, it's a sanctioned fight. I mean, ultimately, it's a cruiserweight stepping up to fight a heavyweight. I mean, previously, what did you have? You had a lightweight fighting a cruiserweight, but that was an exhibition. This is no exhibition. This is the 10-ounce big boys, and this is a real fight. We've already really got our plans with Turki Al-Sheikh for 2026, which is ultimately to fight Tyson Fury, but also to have another fight in February. We got the phone call to say, look, obviously Gervonta's out. Would you be interested in December? And the only other options we had for December was to do an 8-rounder on a card somewhere, which I didn't even know was going to happen. So I said to Nikisa, if you're truthful about this, which he assures me Jake is, then it could happen. So let's live in the real world, yeah? And let's just, everybody stay calm and make logical business decisions. What would you do, right? And please don't give me the, yes, but you have to think about the legacy here. You can't eat legacy, and legacy is so important. By the way, he's an Olympic gold medalist, a 2-time world heavyweight champion. The legacy's okay. I wouldn't let him not take this fight. I would push him in the ring to take this fight. So if you want to blame someone, blame me. Just relax. One, I don't even know if it's going to happen. Two, if it does, just relax. Enjoy us going in there for boxing and sticking one on his chin. We'll go back, we'll fight Tyson Fury, etc. So just relax. But how can you